What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. I got all your Juventus news. All right, Djalo arrives in Turin. Miretti is heavily sought after for this mercato. And Sergej Milinkovic-Savic returns to the rumor mill. Not surprised. All right, we got all that and much more news surrounding Juventus. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. We're going to kick things off with Miretti, and he is heavily sought after. 3 clubs going for his signature this mercato. All right, but the one pushing the hardest seems to be Monza. All right, now as far as this goes down, Juve has zero intentions of moving him, and that makes sense as we can't run ourselves even more thin in the midfield. He's going to have to be a body that's kept back for coverage down the season. The only way something like this would happen is if a midfielder comes in, but it looks like everything is going to stay put now for the mercato. But Di Marzio reports that Juve could still act and still bring in a midfielder. He just says so far they haven't been convinced in the deals and some of the targets that are available to them. However, things could change because as it gets later and later in this mercato and close to ending, some of these teams that own these players that have been targets for Juventus might have a change of heart in order to just get the deal done and give Juve a little bit more incentive of finalizing something so all is not done. Furthermore, you still have a name like Federico Bernardeschi lingering around that continues to get linked and saying that this could be a last minute addition in order to get some more protection and coverage down the second stretch of the season, and we will see what actually happens here, but it might not be done, but it does kind of seem like it's done. I still think anything can happen, and we've been surprised countless times within the past few seasons, so I won't rule anything out. All right, now a rumor continuing with Juventus. It feels like it's going to go on until the end of time. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is being monitored by Juventus. He is one of several players over the past couple weeks seemingly unhappy in Saudi Arabia. Consider me shocked, all right? Not at all. Listen, the question that was fired out there on Twitter on a poll is, would you take Sergej Milinkovic-Savic this summer if you're Juventus and he becomes available? 56% currently say no, they would not take Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. My 2 cents on this, I am leaning towards no, and for several reasons. Number one, I questioned his motivations when I believe he had opportunities to go to bigger clubs and said no and chose to stay at Lazio. I get the loyalty thing, but I think it was a wrong move there. Then he stayed with them too long, then wanted out. He apparently had terms with Juventus, but jumped at Saudi the first opportunity he had after having an agreement that was widely reported by Schira, Di Natale, Agresti. That leaves a bad feeling for me in terms of this guy's motivations, and he's 29 years old. I would go a different route, all right? If it were me, I would go a different route, and I'm still on Samardzic, so it's a no for me from Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. You guys know the drill, though. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I will say this, though. I lean towards no. I want to say no, but if it happened, I wouldn't be upset about it. That's how I feel, all right? Now, let me know what you think. Moise Kean, all signs point to saying goodbye, and this Thursday apparently his medical is set at Atletico Madrid. All right, now Atletico Madrid set to take the full remaining salary for the second half of the season off Juve's book, so everybody wins in the long run. Atletico gets Kean, who they want. Kean can go there and get the minutes he wants. I question that. I doubt he's going to get the minutes he wants, but that's his problem, not mine. And then Juventus doesn't have to partake in the salary whatsoever, all right? So everybody wins. Now, despite interest from Saudi Arabia, Kostic will be remaining at Juventus. Juve is not going to be moving him this window, and I think it's the right decision. I would look to sell him in the summer. Thoughts on that one? Hit me in the comment section, everybody. Now we get to Djalo, the deal. The one deal we did get done this mercato, picking him up from Lille for 3.5 million euros. All right. Now, he does have some concerns, the fact that he's coming from a major injury, but at 3.5 million euro, you're taking a very, very low risk there. His salary is set to be somewhere around 3.5 with bonuses that'll ultimately make it 4 million euros. This is still very, very low risk for Juventus. In 2019, the scouting report on him had the potential being a 9 out of 10 player, all right? Things that he's always been praised for are pace, his agility, his passing, and his tackling, all right? Also positioning and aerial duels as he stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. However, since then, the latest report on him through his seasons at Lille, but obviously suffering an injury, so some of those strengths like pace, agility, quickness, all that, acceleration, that's all going to be in question, and we have to kind of re-scout that when he returns. But as far as the aerial duels, they were not strong despite his height, all right? He is nowhere near the success rates of Gatti or Bremer. However, he is better than Danilo and Sandro, all right? He can also play anywhere across the back. Left back, right back, and center back. So in a back four, he could play literally anywhere. But it appears he could be built perfectly for a three-man back system, all right? And it's leaning more towards, based on his strengths and weaknesses, that he would ultimately be a fullback player in a back four, all right? As he does have good offensive prowess, he is very good at interceptions, especially further up the pitch. It appears that he would be more of a fullback player if we make the switch to back four and not a center back. But in a back three, he could definitely take the positions that Danilo and Sandro and even Rugani occupy on those outsides. So it's going to be interesting to see how he returns from this injury, all right? But he did get back to full training about 2 weeks ago. He has got the number 33 at Juventus. I'm actually intrigued by this signing. And like I said, low risk, but could potentially be high reward for Juventus. Let's see what the future holds for Djalo, all right? The last Portuguese defensive player, though, that had some knee concerns, it didn't end up good. Remember who that was? Jorge Andrade. Yeah, oof. Hopefully, we don't see this guy suffering the same fate, all right? I am actually intrigued by this player. Let me know what you think about him and all the other news. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, Bernardeschi return. Hit me in the comments. Let's mix it up. And I'll be back tomorrow with another update, all right? As always, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. We'll talk tomorrow. Ciao tutti.